Again, so we're going to go ahead and get started. With us in the meeting, we have, as usual, Lyle, myself, Aaron, and joining us today is Callie and Estela. And Callie has really been the one that's been at the forefront of the natural flavors. We are really excited about this launch. You'll be seeing some videos introducing the product, and we're looking at launching um, on July 1st. So you'll be able to place those orders. Those orders will not ship until about July 8th, just so we don't get people fired up for the 4th. We don't think we're going to be able to get the bottling done quite quick enough by that date, but we'll make it available to where they will be shipping. Anyway, I'm jumping ahead, and I'm going to turn the time over to Callie right now, and she'll give us a brief history of her experience in the industry and where we're going. So thank you, Callie, and go ahead.
Hey guys, this is Callie Rupp Holverson. I am really happy everybody got on today to learn a little bit more about our new natural flavor line. It's going to be a big deal for Snowie. It's something I'm so excited about. It's something I felt like we needed to add a few years ago, maybe. I've been wanting to do this, and this last year I really plugged in, and in the last 6 months we've made some big things happen. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about myself. I'm Carl Rupp's eldest daughter from a previous marriage. I have been in the shaved ice industry since I was a twinkle in my father's eye, really. He started his first shack before I was even born, and I grew up literally at events, helping my parents sell shaved ice. They ran individual shacks all across the state. I literally grew up just running around with my parents, stocking their buildings, working at the warehouse, pouring flavors, cleaning toilets, filling orders, answering phones. I mean, I've done this my entire life. It really is a part of who I am. When I was 16 or so, I really started actually developing the flavors and creating flavor recipes and making the flavors. And this is something I have done this for the last 15 years of my life, and for some reason I'm having a hard time getting away from it. But that's okay. It's something I'm excited about, again, because we've created this new line. So another thing I want to talk about is I have sold shaved ice at events on my own since when I was 16 actually. My dad gave me a market. He gave me a farmer's market. He gave it to my sister and I, and we sold shaved ice at this market every Saturday, all summer through the fall. And I've done that for the last 15 years. And it used to be a really a big thing. I used to really do well at this market. And in the last 3 years, maybe 4 years, I've noticed a pretty steep decline in my sales. And at the same time, I've noticed a lot of people are becoming much more aware of what they're putting in their bodies, what they're feeding their children. People are just becoming more aware of what they're consuming. And I've noticed my sales they've gone down. So in the last 2 years, my husband and I, we've picked up more markets to try to make up for the loss in the sales at that one market. So every weekend we run around, we sell shaved ice at markets. Last year at the big downtown Salt Lake City market, the woman who runs it told me, she said, if you want to be invited back next year, you're really gonna have to do something to innovate. You're gonna have to do something to change yourself, because you need to do something different if you want to have a booth here. So that validated me. It really lit that fire under me, that it was like, this is something Snowie needs to do as a whole. This is something Snowie we need to make a change. We need to innovate. If we don't do it, someone will. So in this last year, I've worked on our new flavors. I've created an all natural flavor line made from literally all the flavors are all natural. There's no artificial flavor in them. I use all natural color, which was probably my biggest obstacle. It was it was challenging. It's totally different working with colors that come from fruits and vegetables, beets, carrots, turmeric, all sorts of fruits and vegetables. the color is completely different than artificial color. And the stability is different, the pH balance, I mean, everything. So anyway, it's been a work in progress, and I'm so excited that we finally have something that I feel like I'm ready to introduce to the world. I'm ready to start selling it. This year at the farmers market, which started a month ago, we introduced our new kiosk with that shows our. Are they seeing this?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is our new line. This is what it looks like. That's what my kiosk looks like. Well, actually, it looks a little different than that, but we made a few changes if people want to see. But okay, so here's the market. Here's us. Aaron came down and videoed. That's me standing there shaving ice. This is our new kiosk. And the first day of this market, I made more in one day at this market than I have made in 3 days combined, in the last few years. People were blown away. They were so excited. People were like, oh my gosh, I love what you've done. I love your new flavors. These are amazing. They taste better. They taste lighter. I mean, a lot of people were asking me if they have less sugar. They don't actually have less sugar, but they taste lighter in your mouth. They taste more like real fruit. Something about the fact that the colors they're muted. You're not going to. We don't have a green. We don't have a bright green. We don't have a bright blue. There's no way to do. There's no natural color available for green, and blue is hard to find. So the colors, they're pinks, reds, purples, yellows, oranges, browns. I mean, just really pretty, subtle, muted, awesome colors. The flavors, I'm so excited for people to try these flavors. Leading up to the event, I was hesitant. I was hesitant because I put so much time and energy into this flavor line and wasn't really sure what kind of feedback I would get. People are so excited about these new flavors, and I think I'm really excited to be able to offer this to all of our customers and to people out there that can be proud to, feed this to their kids. I just think this is a direction that, the world is going. It's becoming more mainstream people are becoming more health conscious. And I think it's not something, this is never going to replace our original Snowie flavor line. We will always offer that. But if you're someone that wants to, innovate and offer something different and something unique, and where the general population, I think a lot of people are going in this direction. There's definitely a demand for it. I'm happy. I'm excited that we're the first shaved ice company to offer this.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I just wanted to add that, like she pointed out, that Snowie's also going to keep their original flavors that they've had. This is just an opportunity to provide an alternative, and to have, as a business owner, now you can provide both. And you can let your consumer, your customer, choose what they want. And so this just is offering another thing that they have the option to choose, which is great for themselves.
We talked about last time we touched on it a little bit and talked about different toppings and different things that you can use to bring people to your stand. Estela was actually talking about it this morning. Why don't you talk about some of the things that you did in yours?
I was just saying that when I ran my shack a few years ago, I had a few competitors close by within a 1 or 2 mile radius. And so for me to stand out, I kind of tried to do something different. And so what I would do is I would add candy to my shaved ice. And I didn't charge extra for it. I just did that so that they remembered who I was and that I stood out. Just like what I was mentioning before with Callie, by providing another source, a natural line in conjunction with our other flavors, it just offers the consumer another alternative and a choice. So what I would do is I would add candy, and I'll give you some examples. We have the flavor bug juice, and I would shave half of the cup, and then I would put a whole bunch of gummy worms in the middle, and then I would shave it more, and then I would put the flavor on top. And as the kids got to the middle, they found the candy, and that was a real fun treat. And I would do that with bubble gum. I would do chiclets, and I would do hot tamales with my torture flavor, and I'm just going off, I can't remember, but I had all these different candies. And then as a topper, I would just put Nerds or Pops, the little pop candy that they like to eat. So I just did a lot of fun things, and they remembered who I was. They're like, I want to go back to that Snowy that had the candy. And I provided them just an extra special thing, and it worked. It really worked. So.
Yeah, and the reason I bring up the topping and different things like that as well, sugar-free is something that we've launched and has been very successful. And people who try it, they love it, and it gets them coming back. I, for one, as I've mentioned quite a few times, have done a baseball stadium, and at that stadium, I would have probably a quarter, 25% of the people that would come up would be like, "Man, do you have anything in sugar-free?" And when we were like, yes, you see their eyes like go twice the size, and they're excited because nobody has that either. And we've just, this has just been an exciting thing, and another thing to be able to draw people to your stand. And one thing that I want to bring up before we forget to mention, you'll have a menu sign. If you look on here, this is actually kind of the layout that goes around the kiosk. And so it has the listing of the flavors available. And by the way, let me add a side note. Just because it's natural, this is obviously a look you could do, and Callie's is geared only around this. And what we are doing now, though, if you already have an existing Snowy stand or otherwise, even if you're somebody who has another type of stand, and you're just and you purchase flavors from us, you can add this to your lineup, and we will actually be sending out menu boards. And it's going to be a big, sturdy plastic board that's very good looking. It'll have a similar look and feel to this, and you'll be able to pick and choose and put up the flavors that you want and be able to offer it in your existing environment. So that's one thing that I just wanted to add is we're throwing that in with these initial orders.
They can also use our sugar-free with the natural line too.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. So at the market, I feature 2 flavors. Okay, so at the market, I have a 10 flavor station, and every week what I've been doing is switching out 1 or 2 flavors with 2 different flavors, because I actually have 12 all natural flavors, which are different than the ones you're seeing here. Maybe we'll shoot out. I don't know how we're going to let people know what the flavors are, but
well, again, so on Monday, the flavors that will be launching, they will be available on the website. You'll be able to see what those are, and then as we add and take away from there, you'll be able to see it. But actually, I don't think we'll be taking any away.
Yeah.
We obviously don't want to offer one and they'll be like, "Hey, never mind, you can't get that anymore." We won't do that, but we will be adding flavors to it.
and we'll probably just have 12 flavors that are available all the time. And then I'm thinking about adding like a limited edition flavor or a seasonal flavor that people can try. And I would encourage everyone to, try the new flavors and give us feedback. I would love feedback from everyone to know, what flavors do we want to keep? What flavors do we want to maybe switch out? I'm considering doing a cantaloupe flavor, but I'm obviously not going to do that if there's not a huge demand for it. So those seasonal flavors, I would encourage people to try them and give us feedback.
So we have a question here, Callie. It says, looks very good. Do you also have to display a nutritional list?
I don't think you have to display a nutritional list, but I think it's a good idea. As you can see on my decal here, it actually the one I have actually, maybe we could show the kiosk. Yeah. It actually looks a little different, but I stress the point that.
Oh, could you be in the pictures?
Yeah, I stress that they're naturally sweetened with real cane sugar. Okay, I'm not using high fructose corn syrup. And you, as the end user, you can use whatever you want to sweeten these. If you want to use, organic sugar, do it. You want to use coconut sugar, do it. You want to use agave, or just regular cane sugar. Really, you can use whatever you want. But I'm stressing to my customers, they're naturally sweetened, they're naturally flavored, colored, and sweetened, and they're naturally good. I want people to know, that the flavors, the colors, everything is actually coming from nature. Okay, that these aren't, they're not chemically derived. Any sugar-free, another question. Marty, you can make any one of these flavors you want sugar-free.
Yeah.
All you do is use the concentrate. So the concentrate is the same as our regular Snowy line. There's no sugar in our concentrate. You can make any flavor you want sugar-free just by using the sugar, the sugar-free, the sweet thickener, the Snowy sweet thickener instead of sugar.
And then this is a question whether it's ready to use or concentrate.
Yep.
So,
It's a concentrate, and I think we'll probably stick with the concentrate. We may offer a ready to use down the road, but for now we're just going to offer the concentrate in the natural flavors.
yeah.
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 Something else I do want to mention, these flavors, because the color is from fruits and vegetables, I'm not going to be making these in a really big way and having them stock the shelves. These I'm almost considering making these more on a made to order basis. I'm to start with, because I'm not really sure. I mean, they're not going to sit on your shelf for 3 years and maintain the color like the artificial colors do.
Yes.
I mean, that's a reality of it. And you know, you may have some slight inconsistencies as well. Like you may order a strawberry concentrate, you know, and it has a certain pink tone and maybe a slightly different pink tone the next time you order it. I mean, my goal is to have them as consistent as possible, but that is a possibility just with the nature of the product that we're working with.
Yeah. And hey, Marty, on the stevia question, oh, Jesse, I'll hop up to you. I didn't see that question came before. Stevia
Yes.
is a
There is
sugar,
a way
right?
to do this with stevia, and I am actually wanting to go down the road of creating our sweet thickener, and rather than using the sucralose, which is what we use now, I would like to use stevia. The problem with you using stevia on your own and just using water and stevia is it's not going to have that same thick consistency of sugar water. Like our sweet thickener does. We've added gums to that to make it thick, like real sugar water. So that is we're going down that road. I want to start offering a stevia product, a sweet thickener with stevia, like as soon as possible.
Cute menu.
Yeah, and I wanted to point out the menu board too, because a lot of people, they try to figure out how they can implement these things, especially if they have a flavor station. And again, so here at the farmers market, at the ballpark, we would we would put up a similar sign that would say that we're featuring a sugar-free flavor, and we actually did 3 at the ballpark. And we just kept those as bottles on the side because people are like, man, do I really want to make 2.5 gallons of sugar-free flavor? No, you don't need to do that. What we do is we set aside bottles up on the top or on the countertop, and then you pour those on manually for the people that are requesting that. You could do the same thing with your natural flavors. So you could feature 12 natural flavors, have a little, we have some bottle racks that you'll see on the website. You can get a 12 bottle rack and have that full of natural flavors. And then if you have a flavor station out there, then that's where 80% of the people are going to go to the flavor station, but you have all those people that have that interest in natural flavors, and maybe that number flip flops. Maybe all of a sudden those become your primary flavors, and we really see it going that direction quite a bit. But we don't know yet. Anyway, I wanted to point that out because she's showing you that she has one sugar-free flavor that's tiger's blood. What's that?
Frozen yogurt.
Oh yeah, and the frozen yogurt. We've talked quite a bit. We have people that will do. We have a cream topping that we sell here. That's a non-dairy cream topping. It allows you to be able to use it a little more liberally with the health department, and that's been a great product. And if you haven't tried that, try it. It's great. But on top of that, we haven't been able to do dairy, and as you will notice, a lot of you guys that have been through the health department, and I just got back from Arizona, and what a pleasant experience that was. And the things I had to jump through were unbelievable. But again, and it was no shock to me, we weren't able to do dairy. But what we found is now they make these like little ice cream pucks and cups, and Callie actually has happened upon these yogurt pucks, and so it has a much more natural feel to it. The ingredients are much better than that was in the ice cream cups, but you're able to do those because they're a prepackaged product. And anyway, so it's a great way to be able to bypass that and still be able to put additional things in the shaved ice that people are looking for to have a traditional shaved ice, and now you can pull that off because of the beauty of prepackaged products. So you're not actually handling it, you're not scooping it.
Just like novelty ice cream, where they have the packages. They like that a lot more.
Yeah, absolutely. And there was, yeah, how about LA? Yeah, exactly. Good luck, Marty. Sorry, I can't find my mouse here. I wanted to scroll up. Jesse had a question.
That's what I do, Jesse. It's the prepackaged pucks.
Yeah.
An extra $1 to put the puck in the bottom of the cup. That's exactly what I do. And I do want to mention I'm having a Snowy bus built, and I am so incredibly excited to show everyone the pictures of this bus when it's done. It's going to be amazing. And what's nice is I have my cold plate freezer in my bus. It just makes it a lot easier for me to keep my ice cream and my ice frozen. And yeah, the bus is going to reflect this new branding, this new palette and color line, and everything about the natural flavors. So that's something that will be available to anyone that wants to go down this road as well.
Yeah, and Jesse, so sorry, we're kind of hopping off the subject to answer this, but I want to. He's talking about the websites. In the first webinar, I brought up how we will do custom websites for any of our customers, and that is coming. We're actually like on the brink of that, and what we're really trying to do is we have to be really cautious with how it's affecting SEO or search engine optimization of our main site, and we basically had to go down some certain paths to make sure that's not affected and that it benefits rather than hinders. And anyway, so we have to jump through some hoops with that, but they will be available. And thanks for your inquiry. And yes, we will use you as a test market if you wish, as you volunteered. And Jesse, and so you guys know, and everybody knows, the reason I read these questions aloud is because we broadcast these on the web after, and these questions are not seen on the webinar, so we read them aloud and then answer them, so you don't think I'm being redundant. Jesse mentioned the only way. Oh, is that what you answered, Kelly? We use the dual soft serve here, but we find we have to educate the consumers about the benefits. On that soft serve, do you have a soft serve machine in your building, Malcolm? I just have a question on that. Like, we wouldn't be able to do that here. Well, I guess it depends, because Gordon was able to do it. Gordon actually had a tart yogurt that he was able to do. What's the bus going to look like? A school bus? The bus is actually white. The style of the bus is still a school bus. It still has the same exact shape.
It's the same mold, but it's not going to be called the school bus.
Yeah.
I'm coming up with a cute, kind of catchy name. I don't want to put it out there quite yet, but it'll have the same. It'll be the same shape, but it's going to look pretty dang different. Jesse has a question here about having a page for the fresh flavor page.
So the reason I brought it up here, because one page or tab could be the fresh flavor page on our website. You're talking? Yeah, absolutely. And we're actually doing that. So we'll have a page. Oh, and you're talking about your website, Jesse? I hope I'm not mixing this up. I feel like I'm bouncing between questions. But yeah, you can absolutely bring that page in the websites that we build for you. Yeah, you're talking about your template. So for Snowy, we will have a page for the natural line that will educate people on it. And then when you actually place your order, it will fall within the same cart. How you'll be able to order it will be exactly the same as you're doing it now. So like if you go to our website now, we have a discontinued flavor section. There will be a natural flavor section, but there will be a separate page. And on the templates, yes, we will do that for you. If you were offering the natural line, then you'd be able to have that as a sub page and part of a pitch of your product. How long before the price? Any idea?
My bus will be done hopefully in the next 2 weeks. We'll post pictures online. I'll have video of it. I'll show it in action, and then we will.
It'd be the same.
I mean, it would be the same pricing as our other buses, just depending on what vehicle we put it on. If we put it on a used vehicle or new vehicle, mine is going on an express, which is probably what you'd want to do.
And the bus will be white instead of yellow. I don't know if we mentioned that.
So basically, it's the same thing, except for we're just changing up the decal
Yeah.
and the color of the bus.
Yeah.
The flavors, the natural flavors will be more expensive because all of the ingredients that go into these are substantially more expensive to us. I'm thinking they will only be a few dollars more, 30% more or so, so $13.95 instead of the $9.95 for our typical line, and they'll have the exact same strength. So a 4 ounce of the concentrate, the natural concentrate, will yield a gallon of ready-to-use syrup. So the same concentration, but keep in mind all of the ingredients going into these. They're all. This is a premium product, and you can charge more to your end user for this as well. I bumped up all of my prices $1 more, and people don't even bat an eye. They don't even bat an eye.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, are we offering them in the same sizes? Sorry, Lyle, I'll cut you off here.
No, go ahead.
We'll still offer 4 ounce pint and gallon. Okay, Lyle, go ahead.
Just a few questions, Callie, on this. What's the shelf life going to be on the concentrate?
Well, the shelf life, I'm thinking we could still do the 3 years, but for the flavor, I'm not really sure how the color is going to hold up past a year, because I haven't had it. I just don't know. That's just going to be something we're going to have to explore. I mean, they're not going to spoil. The flavor will still be good, but I'm not sure how the color is going to what it's going to look like a year from now. That's why, I was saying I'm going to make these things more on a as they're demanded. But
Yeah,
I'm thinking we're gonna say a 1 year shelf life on the concentrates. It's probably what we'll do.
Until we get a little more experience with it.
Yep, totally.
Okay.
And I
How
put
many
up,
flavors? And once you make it, what will the shelf life will it be? Just like with our sugar now, you got a 1 year.
Yes, if you preserve your sugar water like we all do now, or well, I do, it will have a 1 year shelf life if you preserve
Okay.
your sugar water.
How many flavors are being offered in the natural?
Right now, I have 12 to 15. Not all 12 will be available next week, but every week I'm hoping to add a new flavor as they become available. My goal is to have 8 to 10 available to actually purchase on the 1st of July, and then within the next few weeks after that, we will be adding them as they're available. And my goal is to have 12 to 15 natural flavors. I don't want to have 50 to 100 of these flavors. I really want to focus on some phenomenal flavors to start with and really get these ones just perfect.
Yeah, you mentioned that it's the same concentrate level, and I'm just for clarification. So I'm using the exact same sugar water as well. So if I have a stationary location and I'm offering 50 standard flavors, I could easily, by simply adding 6 bottles and 6 concentrates, I could add 6 all natural flavors if I wanted to.
Absolutely. You will use it the exact same way as you use your other concentrates. The exact
And
same
then I
way.
just have to decide, do I charge more if I want for that flavoring? Somebody put a question up that was on the chat screen, and it asked about the cup that you have here. Notice that you're using a clear cup, and I'm assuming that is a recyclable cup.
It is. It's an
Can
eco
you tell us a
cup.
little bit more?
yeah, and there was actually
Let me tell you guys, part of why I'm using that clear cup is I offer the yogurt in the bottom of my cup. And if I'm using a styrofoam cup or a paper cup and people are walking around the market with yogurt in the bottom of their cup, no one can see it. No one knows it's there. So that's part of why I wanted to use the clear, is so people could see that yogurt in the bottom of the cup. And I want people to be able to see like these pretty new different flavors. And I also use it for the fact that they're more environmentally friendly. I won't use styrofoam. I can't use styrofoam. I have not noticed that people use more flavor. I think that was someone's question, because of the clear cup. I really haven't noticed that at all. A lot of people walk away and I'm thinking, gosh, the bottom of your cup is still totally white. So I haven't noticed that that's an issue. And the red, someone mentioned the artificial red. I completely agree. I've had a lot of parents, they're nervous about the artificial red, and I'm sorry, the red dye number 40. I mean, that's a big reason why I went in this direction and wanted to, is I'm a new mom. I have a 3-year-old, and I'm hesitant to let her have a, I don't know, a bag full of candy that's loaded with red dye number 40 or a shaved ice. I mean, so this is something that this is a big deal. I don't know anyone that doesn't feel good about, giving their child a shaved ice that's colored with beet juice, literally juice from a beet. I mean, beets are so good for you. So yeah, I think it's going to be a big deal.
But me, this is Aaron. I think my kids live on Red 40. So. What's that?
I want to talk about our flavors. Some of you may be curious. Maybe I'll just rattle off some of the flavors that we'll be offering.
Yeah.
Or maybe we'll go back to the picture and you can see.
Yeah, and we're yeah. So I think this would be great to do it.
It needs to be the actual pictures. Yeah. Sorry.
The pictures of.
Because my kiosk is different.
That's right.
No.
Oh, but
at the market.
Well, I was just going to. Are yours actually correct
They're
on yours?
different.
Oh, they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry everyone.
Yeah, they're different on this.
Try to get a good shot.
Maybe you show the flavor station with the flavors, with the list of flavors.
I think. Let me see. That one's pretty good.
Well, some of our flavors, we have orange, and they all have really cute names. Orange Ya Glad, so there's orange. Grapevine Groove, Tiger's Blood, Lemon Beam, Tropical Heat is a new flavor. I am so excited about this flavor. This is my new favorite flavor. I think it's going to be huge in the South American Latin culture. It's amazing. It does have a little kick to it. It actually has some of the element that's in peppers is in this. Raspberry, Pacific Punch, which is actually a Hawaiian punch. Banana, we have pear, we have watermelon. Did I mention raspberry? Oh, really good pineapple flavor. So we have some really peach, coconut, and again, I would love any and all feedback I can get from everyone on which ones they love, which ones do we need to work on a little bit more, because we want to make these perfect.
Yeah, Marty's just adding to the fan base of clear cups. He's not a fan of styrofoam. Yeah, most under pour anyway. Going back to people filling up on clear cups feel like they need to put too much in it. Sometimes I actually think it's the opposite, where people kids, they'll fill it until they see it overflow because they can't see it go to the bottom. Mm-hmm. So this way they'll stop when they see it hit the bottom of the snow. But his comment is most under pour anyway. The kid that wants to still will do it regardless of the cup. I figure that if they paid $3, they physically can't cost me more than 50 cents a cup. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly right.
Wahine watermelon, that's cute.
Hey.
I like that. I think we call it watermelon wedge. I like Wahine watermelon though. That's a good one.
Let's see. I want to make sure I'm not. We have a shout out from Cancun. Thanks, Humberto. Do I say that right? Yeah.
Humberto. I'm curious how many of you have had you know, a lot of people asking for this or have experienced a demand for this.
Yeah, and in doing this, I would like to open it up again. Every time we do this, it gets loud and crazy. So if you're not going to speak, you have the ability to mute yourself on your control panel. But I would love to hear from some of you if you have experience in people asking for this. And obviously, you don't have the experience of people running up to the building. Callie's had that. I was actually there at the farmer's market, and man, just a huge response from people, and it was great. But anyway, I'm going to unmute everybody, so please feel free to ask. Anyone?
I don't know. I'm not sure Arizona's going to be any better than California. Is it important?
Hello.
Yeah, yes. Yeah. Ron? I don't think. Somebody said hello. Anybody? We just opened it up to questions in case you missed that. Does anybody have questions they'd like to ask verbally? Okay. All right. Lyle,
Aaron, I'll jump in for just.
Yeah, go ahead, Lyle.
Just a quick sec.
Hey, Lyle, give me a
Callie
sec.
asked.
Lyle, hold on a minute. Okay, Lyle, now you can speak.
Well, I'm just going to follow up on Callie's question. Do we get any requests for this? And that was the reason why I was asking about the sugar water. Does it use the same sugar water, same shelf life, preservative, all that kind of stuff? Because in our stationary locations is where I'll introduce this first. I have a very high request rate for it. So this will become an entire section. I'll probably get rid of about 8 or 10 of our standard flavors that we don't sell much of and replace it with the all natural. Still got to work out how we'll do pricing in that. So there is a high demand. Never really thought about it much at events. I will have to think that through and follow up, but it's a legitimate question.
Yeah, and I want to add to that. You know, Jesse brought up standing out again, like we've talked about quite a bit, and we kind of pushed it a lot in one of our first webinars, that we innovate and we take great pride in that. And like Callie mentioned, when we found that there was a need, and we talk about it, we research it and stuff like that. But once we find out there's a legitimate need, we hop on it, we do it, and we do take pride in that, and we do anything and everything we can to make you guys stand out. One of the design elements, I want to point that out. It might be a trivial thing, but if you look, there's a lot of vertical lines, and the tagline to this was grown from the ground up, and it was geared on starting this business from the ground up, and where I wanted to point with that too is we have as much vested in you and you growing from the ground up. Our whole point of doing this is to make it so that each and every one of you can step on our shoulders, go out there and do this. And for some reason, a lot of people, we had some talk of franchises and different things like that. You don't need. We offer that same support, and we talked about it quite a bit last week, but we offer the same support as any franchise. We educate you through this product, and we offer things to make you stand out in the crowd. And the reason I bring this up again is because Jesse was mentioning, man, this is a great way for me to stand out in a festival or things like that. Absolutely. You can create signage for this. We will actually create signage for you, and it will be good looking, and it'll help draw that crowd. And we're, again, very excited to offer this to you.
And it does look totally different than a snow cone. It's not a bright blue, bright green, bright red snow cone. I mean, people aren't going to confuse what you have for a snow cone. It's clear. This is something different. This is gourmet. This is a premium product. I mean, it looks different. There's just no question.
Yeah.
That it's better for you.
Yeah, and I actually love the look. I love the muted colors and the shaved ice. I think they look delicious. And then we just.
Callie.
Yeah.
Have you tried, just out of curiosity, at an event having both products and how they compared
I have not.
I'm thinking of an event I got coming up the end of July where we run 3 units, and it would be really interesting to make one of those.
You ought to. I would love to
Roll and
hear
see.
the feedback on that. I would. You know, I do want to mention before this last year, after I did, when I was applying for my, in January, applying again, or do every year, I have to apply to do this market that I've done for 15 years. And when I applied, she actually called me and said, what are you doing different this year? We talked about this at the end of the season last year. What are you doing different? Because I have had 12 other shaved ice people apply, and they have, a lot of these people, they're making their own syrups. They're making stuff from scratch. She's like, you have some strong competition. What are you doing to be different? Because if you're not doing something different, I'm sorry, but you're not going to be invited back this year. And so I was obviously really happy to be able to tell her, you know what, I am innovating. We are doing something different. But I just think it's important for everyone out there to realize the industry is changing. It is. It's changing, and it's going in this direction of all natural. And I believe if you don't innovate and change, someone else, the competition will, and they're going to come in and they're going to do it before you do. And you may lose some business.
And I think it is, good to point out that the environment that you're in too. That whole thing is geared to natural.
Totally.
And so obviously it's hitting that the hardest. And I think, I don't think the industry as a whole will flip because, we'll always have treats. We'll always have candy. We'll always have those things. But there is a big demand for people that are visiting all of those things as well, where natural isn't the focus, but they would like to have that. So it's perfect to be able to offer both.
Exactly. It's good.
And all right. And it looks much more like true Hawaiian shave ice with the muted colors. Yeah, interesting. Thanks.
It's a great idea.
Yeah, we actually talked about that, Ron, right before the meeting, where you could actually do 2 different flavor stations. You have a natural one and a regular one. Yeah, great idea.
Brilliant.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions?
Educating them on which is which.
What? Well, one will look like a flavor tree, and which I think, well, I don't know. I guess trying to think. I think.
Well, you could put a sign on top that says all
natural,
no art, whatever you want to do to
Mm-hmm.
advertise it if you wanted to.
We should have a sign made.
But I like the fact of having both options and letting the end user just pick and make that decision on their own. Because like Aaron said, the treats aren't going to go away. The candy's not going to go away. But it's nice to have that, to provide that for someone who really wants that. You know, so.
Go Red 40. All right. I think we're going to draw to a close. Does anybody else have any last minute questions? All right. Well, thank you. And we'll talk to everybody next week. Oh, actually, we won't. We will have a break. It's the 4th of July.
Aaron? Yeah. I know that doesn't mean much to Malcolm in Australia, but it is our national birthday.
Yeah.
So nothing next week.
Yeah, and Felix
Roberto,
and
not
Huberto.
and Roberto. How do you say it? Did I say it wrong?
Huberto.
Anyway, so yeah, the topic on the 11th. We went over quite a few. Lyle, man, I'm drawing a blank. Did we talk about what we were talking about after the 11th?
Well, we were talking about stocking and managing events or buildings, but we can do anything we want. Do we want an open Q&A? We haven't done that in a while. So does anybody have any things they'd like to see?
Okay. Yeah. We'll keep you updated via email and subscribe to us on Twitter and Facebook. You get all these messages as well, and we'll be notifying like crazy. We have some fun videos that have been created that'll be launching. One was supposed to hit the website this morning. It's not there, but you'll see it soon. So, well, you'll see it today. I'll make sure it gets up. But anyway, spread the word and go make some money.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks.
Yeah, he'd like a video first.
is that? Oh, Jesse. Sorry, I'm answering a question now that we ended the meeting, but I'll just go ahead and do it. Jesse's just suggesting one of our meeting topics is marketing, Facebook, Twitter, etc. Great.
Great idea.
You know, a lot of people are using that in stands. I know Lyle's hit that really hard with his stands.
Gone from 125 people to I'm just barely shy of 1,200 in about 2.5 months of our theme night. Yeah, I can put some focus on that.
Yeah, that'd be great. In fact, I love that topic. Let's go ahead and make the decision to do that. We'll talk about how you can market it. I actually have some suggestions, some other routes too that you actually can go to physically.
Okay.
To
And
be
you
able
and
to
I
fill some
are need to
events.
chat some beforehand and get that together.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.